Just over 4,600 pounds, the J-Flight 224 Bunkhouse here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is an ideal, simple, basic, sometimes starter camper for some folks. It does give us a neat little outside camp kitchen. We've got an extra tall interior. She's completely carpetless, ventless flooring. Again, perfect whether it's your first time or if you're just looking to do some simple basic camping and you're not looking for something with ceiling fans and fireplaces. There's a lot of good qualities on this camper. I like that it's carpetless, ventless, you know, all the things I mentioned before, but I love the concentration of windows and whatnot right over here on the campsite. So whether you're in the kitchen, if you're in bed and you hear one of the kids scream bloody murder, if you're eating at the table, you've got pretty good views of your campsite. And you might notice how even that big toothpick window in next to the bedside right there, that will open for airflow. So you've always got good visibility, I suppose, if you want it, but you also have a nice little privacy curtain for your master bed up front here. And in a smaller model like this, you are going to have some kind of open air design, but this is enough of a visual breakpoint that I think a lot of people feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Also pretty handy if you're just wanting to, you know, have a quick change of clothes or something like that. I also think it's pretty neat how they handle their bedroom storage. Above those big side stands, you know, if you want to throw a phone charger or CPAP machine there, you definitely can. But notice how they put shelving in over here to make it basically like a vertical dresser. And across the other side of that shelf, you've got your normal hanging storage. I think a lot of people are at first are going, why don't I have two hanging closets? And I think the answer is because it's a small camper. It's mostly going to be for weekend use. I don't think you need a ton of hanging storage. I think it has enough. And I think that shelf storage in the other wardrobe, pretty darn handy. This is definitely not a model built with entertainment in its first focus, as you can see kind of by the TV position. But what is kind of cool is it comes with this quick, easy release inside-outside TV bracket. There's a matching mount outside, right under the kitchen window, basically. So if you want to, you can take that outside, and that is pretty sturdy, heavy-duty. And over here, we've got our streaming friendly stereo. It's, you know, Bluetooth, AM, FM, but it does have HDMI and USB plugs. But back to the storage thing, I kind of saw something shiny and went and got distracted. Entry-level trailers don't usually have an easy lift bed deck like this. They don't usually have plywood decking. Now, some do. Occasionally, like Wildwoods are very good about that, and you find those here at Haylett RV. But this is a fairly standout feature. And you can see here, it has a full front pass-through, and you have storage below. Now, some people like to have partitioned inside-outside storage. It would take absolutely nothing, really, to simply throw a little divider wall in there and have separate inside-outside storage. Now, over here above the dining, we kind of peeked at the entertainment, but to take a more detailed look at just the whole area here, I like the pocket above that stereo, so if you do have something like a Blu-ray player you want to put up there, a little small one, or if you just want to make a phone charger pocket, I think that in my house it's probably where we keep the iPad or something like that when it's not being used so that the kiddo can actually focus on going camping. I would pull that out when I want to on a rainy day. We've got all pocket screwed cabinetry, so this is going to hold up longer. It's not stapled, you know, sawdust type cabinetry. And that sounds super, super derogatory. There's nothing wrong with stapled MDF cabinetry. It's fine. It's just that I think this is a little bit better. I think that most people prefer something made with, you know, hardwood cabinet door frames and lumber core pocket screwed cabinetry. Now, we already saw how we got good windows on the door side, but over here, overlooking our dinette, we've also got a large window. And notice how they are fully framed out. They trim out all the way around the window, and it gives that pleated nightshade that we're going to see in just a second a better anchor to tie into, and I think it works better. Now, for family meals, you've got a spot here fit for four where everybody can sit down to have a bite to eat. But in a pinch, if you really need to maximize sleeping space, or if everybody needs their own separate sleeper, you've got a little bonus area right here that can take care of you. This would be a bit small for a big adult like me, but a big dog or a kid, it'd work just fine. I have some people ask me sometimes, you know, can I get this with a sofa instead? And right now you can't, but I got kind of a little bit of a camping hack for you. If you fold it down like this, and then you throw a big old body pillow or two across the rear wall, it's kind of like just a big old giant lounge, and it works. It works well enough. You can see how we have those near blackout shades. Remember how the light was like actually messing with my camera a second ago? It made everything dark but the window. It's doing such a good job right now of blocking that light. We don't have any of that nonsense happening anymore. And for such a small trailer, they did a just dynamite job of really maximizing your storage area here. Every little nook and cranny opens right up. And this is one of the reasons I like to do videos, because this big pantry right here, it's in a kind of an awkward spot for a still photo, but when you're standing in the RV, when you're actually using it, it's very natural, it's very organic, it works very well. It's at a funky angle where I can't get a still photo to it. So if you need, you could easily convert some of that into extra hanging space. You've obviously got plenty of shelf space. You've got plenty of big space for occasional pots and pan stuff. And remember, with the taller 6'9" interior, we've got taller kitchen cabinets, taller bunks, taller shower. You'll also find that below any sort of overhead hanging cabinet, whether it's that kitchen or the dinette we just looked at, they've got extra lighting, so you can always see what you're doing. The kitchen has sealed edge countertops, which has become a pretty common thing, but it does allow for a recessed sink. So if you wanted to add a little sink cover there to add some more prep space, not real hard, very easy to do so. As we come down here, I also love the fact we've got plywood full extension drawers. Again, not particle board with a sticker wrap. And we do have a place down here for a wastebasket. There's a few more details here that are very easy to miss. And I don't know that they're massive factors, but I think that they're those little daily use things. You know, like when your spouse squeezes toothpaste from the wrong end of the toothpaste tube, it just drives you nuts. What I'm getting at is these are those little things that just make you enjoy your day a little bit more. Like the fact that we have metallic refrigerator inserts. Not a huge deal, but it does make that magnet friendly, and that's a handy thing. We also have central air here, and I think that is a fairly important factor. More and more RVs offer central AC. In an entry-level class, it is quite often still optional, although we would apply it whenever we could here at Haylett RV. It's always standard on a J flight. But I want to point out the fact that they're still spending a little bit of extra money on vents that can turn and close so that you can always control your air conditioner. And that right there is something a lot of entry-level campers tend to lack. The fact that we have one switch for all of our main cabin lighting, but still have the ability to turn that off. All those extra little things I just mentioned, they're all a few dollars and cents more. But it all adds up. And that's one of the things, is that Jayco really invests a lot of money into the core function features. In the SLX series that we're in, this is not a flashy, jazzy series of trailer. I think it's got clean execution, good eye appeal, but it's not made to be like, ooh, pretty. It's made to be like, dude, that works, and I can take my family camping. Like, here's another thing, just that little handle to get you up top here, and also the fact that they have some of the heaviest bunk ratings of anyone that you're going to find out there. Jayco beds are always rated for an absolute minimum of 300 pounds per sleeping space. That's a double sleeper, so that's a 600-pound bed right there. You'll find a lot of brands actually won't put weight ratings on their lower beds. Basically, there's so much more construction under them, it's just not an issue. But here's a really key thing on an entry-level camper. Jayco's bunk mats are like twice as thick as industry standard. When you're in an entry-level class like this, I mean, no joke, you are usually at something that is half that thickness and not nearly as nice and dense and plush. You see a lot of this teddy bear stuff, but usually the mattresses are a lot thinner. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you it's a sleep number or whatever. You might still want to put a little foam mattress topper on it for the kids, but they will, right out of the box, be better equipped to have a better night's sleep. And if they sleep better, you're going to have a better day the next day, because there's nothing like dealing with crabby kids in the morning, am I right? I got one kid, and I love her to death, but man, if she wakes up sour, it's just a rough day for everybody. You might have noticed how each bed has its own lights, too. And this thing has an awesome bathroom. I mean, you can see right here, you've got excellent leg space. You got plenty of room to get dressed. And check out the size of this shower. Not a tub. That's a giant shower. If your kid acts goofy, gets into some kind of muck and mire they're not supposed to, and you got to get in there and hand scrub them, or you got to clean a dog maybe, you could get right in there if you had to. You could get involved and you could get it done. We've got standard shower surround paneling and skylight, and remember that this is a taller series of trailer, plus you have a power vent fan up top. All of those are things that at this class, category, budget, etc., are not things that you can always expect, but you can always expect them from a J-Flight here at Haylett RV. Overall, there's a bunch, like just a ton of little standout features on this that have helped make it the single best-selling RV out there, not just trailer, but RV period. One of the major ones, though, is that generally speaking, nobody matches the warranty on a Jayco, especially in a starter class like this. This has a full 2-year warranty and 3-year structural coverage, not 2 years or 3-year structural coverage, because when it comes to protection, peace of mind, I think everybody tends to agree that and is better than or. There is no one remotely close to this market segment matching Jayco's warranty. It's kind of cool that this has effectively the same warranty as something all the way up to, like, say, an Eagle, and for good reason. There's a lot of similarities in terms of the general methodology and construction and materials used here. Like up front, you can see that in an entry class, we've still got a diamond plate and double propane bottles. Usually in an 8-foot wide class, you get double propane. There are a few real cutthroat budget brands out there that will drop to a single, though, so watch out for that, but it's exceptionally rare. But little things like this, you can see how the A-frame actually integrates into the chassis. This has a custom engineered chassis, and it's the reason the RV is taller inside, but not taller outside. It's actually got a lower floor. Then there's the little Jayco details. Like I said, there's the warranty, which is a big thing. Then there's 100 little things, like the fact that their tongue jack comes with that handy little foot pad right there. That's gonna do a couple things for us. Trucks seem to just be getting taller and taller and taller. So having that foot pad right there, it extends basically your tongue jack to help get this thing off the bumper of your truck. Not to mention the fact that it just saves you about 9 inches worth of cranking, which is nice. The fact that they're not using OSB here. This is an all plywood constructed product, basically. Like your roof, your floor decking, they're not OSB, they're plywood. At an entry-level class, those are not always found features. There are some brands that do maybe a plywood floor, but the plywood roofing is virtually unheard of in this segment. That's part of the reason this has the heaviest roof load rating of anything in its class. They're still including tinted windows. That costs a little bit more, but it also keeps the RV cooler, and it does improve your privacy. They have, you know, best-in-class Goodyear Endurance radials, rated for up to 87 miles per hour. Not that you should ever be driving that fast. And they're, even when you're not looking, they're doing things like the galvanized steel wheel wells right there, so that, God forbid, you know, even if you have your tires properly inflated, if you get a flat tire, it could damage this RV pretty badly. You know, this side of the tires, those, or this side of the RV, rather, those tires are directly under the dinette. On the opposite side, they're under the kitchen. You don't want the tires bashing up either of those things. So hopefully that galvanized steel shield gives you enough coverage to get this thing brought down from highway speeds and off the road. You might notice we have a full outside utility shower. You know, not just a cold water sprayer port. Entry-level campers sometimes get neither. They also have their best-in-class J-Smart lighting package. That refers to signals, markers, and reverse travel lighting. So if you look up top here, like, you can see the camera prep, that's pretty obvious. But you notice how there's a bunch of upper marker lights. Well, in most RVs, most towable RVs, when you, say, flip on your left turn signal, only this left light is going to flash. But on a Jayco, with their smart lighting system, all associated side marker lights and those upper additional clearance lights will blink with that signal, so that other people on the road can actually have a clue as to what you're doing. That is, it also has reverse travel lighting. Inside those brake lights, there is a really bright white segment, very much like your vehicles, so that when you shift into reverse, you can either see what's going on behind you or other people can see you're backing up. Again, not a common feature, but this is a very safety-oriented brand. Doesn't that make sense? The spare tire on here comes with a nice little slip cover, and first of all, it comes with a spare tire. That is something that is optional for many brands, and there are some dealers who, just shockingly to me, I just can't wrap my head around it, don't include them on their RVs. Anytime, if a spare tire is an option at Haylett RV, it ain't optional. It's going on there. It's what we call a mandatory option. The Magnum Truss roof system, you can walk all over that roof. That's absolutely not a problem. In addition to that lighting, I talked about the smart lighting, but all the lights are LED, not just the tail lights, the marker lights, the clearance lights, everything. And we've got the handy little slide open camp kitchen. I tell you, Jayco's done a very good job of coming up with a low-profile camp kitchen. The mini fridge, you know, a very popular feature. It gives this thing a little bit of cold storage inside and outside. Kind of handy for keeping maybe some drinks out here and some food inside. And you can see how our cooktop and our real sink with a real drain into a holding tank, not just dribble onto the ground, telescope out. And they're on a gas strut. So what I'm getting at here is, like, you can, if you bump this, it's not going to go whack. It's not going to go flying in. It's not going to cause a pot of boiling water to spill onto one of your kids or something like that. Now, if you push on it long enough and steady enough, it'll go right in there, and it'll keep itself in there as well. It won't tend to bang around. It's just extra little unseen details that separate Jayco's from a lot of brands. I am going to try to head the carriage off at the pass here. A lot of people are going to ask, well, can I get it without the outside kitchen, or how much less without the outside kitchen? That's not an option. This comes with the camp kitchen. If you like this model, though, and you would like it without a camp kitchen, I have an alternative for you. One of the benefits to us here at Haylett RV carrying so many different brands is I have floor plans either identical to this or darn close without a camp kitchen. The most notable of which would be the Grey Wolf 22 MKSE that you could have here at Haylett RV. Near identical floor plan match, but it has storage instead of a camp kitchen. Congratulations. Visit Haylett RV and you can have, I mean, you can really, with laser-like focus, narrow this thing down to exactly what you're looking for. We have a power awning with LED lighting below. A neat little detail, it's easy to miss. I don't talk about it a lot because it's something that I just take for granted. I think you do too, though, is the fact that our stovetop hood does vent outside. Not every RV has a feature like that. Some RVs have non-venting hoods, and they have alternative ways of ventilating the RV. So that doesn't mean it's a bad camper. It means that it could be. You just got to look the next step down. Also, we've got a huge underbed storage compartment. It passes through all the way from side to side with these extra large, wide and tall baggage doors. You see how that storage goes all the way under the bed right there. And if you are looking for something like some off-grid friendliness, you want to keep a little portable solar panel in there, your solar prep plug is actually located right up on the tongue of this trailer. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We don't do hidden dealer fees, but we do everything else. Hitching pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.